So why don't you put the halter on her, and you can take your stick and string and then just show me where you're at with her. And I'll see where I can help you out. Good. So when you first walked in and she lifted her head and looked at you, I would have just hesitated for a moment, stopped for a moment, because it's just a recognition. Just saying, and it helps their emotion to come back down because they feel acknowledged. So she kind of looked up and looked at you, and then you just kind of hesitate. And then that shows that you're understanding that she had a moment of tiny concern. It wasn't big, but it helps to just diminish it. And then you go forward again, and if she looks at you, I just do a quick little moments of hesitation to acknowledge them. Because then you went to the other side, and she was like, she kind of stepped off a little bit, like, you don't have permission. But that just that little bit would have made a difference to her. It's just these tiny little things that make big differences to them, because everything that we do is communication. Everything that they do is communication. So whether we know it or not, if we hesitate or don't hesitate or back off or go forward, everything means something to them. So just walk over here for a minute and then walk back, and we'll see what she does. And she's just she's acting like she's ignoring you, but she's really not. So then go ahead and walk up again. So how is she at disengaging her hindquarters? Does she do that yet? A little bit.
Yes.
Okay. Because if we had that, what I would do is just do a little bit of disengagement, and then, so take a step back. Yeah. And then go up to her, walk up to her, and, yeah. And then walk off for a moment, because she's got that little bit of, hesitation there. So then go ahead and walk back up to her shoulder again. And then see if you can come up by her neck, and then put your hand under her chin, see if she'll move over so you can halter her that way. And then take a step towards her head so she can come around. There we go. That was a good release when she did that. Ask again. See if she will. Just looking for a step. Go ahead and just keep your hand there, but walk over to the other side. So you're like asking permission to go to that side. And then just take her shoulder and her head right there, and just ask her to go over one step. Yeah. And pet her shoulder. Ask her for one more step. So right now you're asking for control of her feet. And pet her. And take your hand off her nose for a second when you do that. If she moves, just because that's where her worry was right there. See, now she's licking her lips. So ask her for one more step over, just because we're looking for a little bit of acceptance there. Good. And pet her shoulder. Good. And then put your hand over her neck and see if she'll allow you to start. Okay, so take a step back. Now I put a little bit of pressure behind her with the rope. Just like swing it kind of behind her a little bit. Not too hard. Okay, stop. And let's see what she says. Oh, we didn't close that gate. Because it's not that I don't know that you can halter her, but this is about if we get permission, and then it gets lighter and softer and better. Okay? Because we know we can go up and we can get her. But are we having her be a willing participant in it? So just kind of swing the rope behind her again. There we go. So let's walk this way and take a step in front of her and see what she does. We're just kind of playing with her. She's choosing to ignore us right now. So let's kind of go behind her again. Good. And we're going to wait. There we go. There we go. Now we're drawing her. Come back. Good. So how can we get her to face us without making it happen? Hi. So then we'll start going behind her again. Get her to start facing us. And then put pressure on her right now. I just wanted her to, like, not, excuse me, not ignore us. Hi. We're waiting for her to turn and face us. She goes, well, I'll go smell that instead. So we're looking for cooperation. There was her little attitude. If she wants to ignore us, then we're going to put her to work. I know. Oh, good, good, good. That was perfect timing on your part right there. That was really good. Because if we go up and we just halter them and they haven't actually given us permission, the battle starts right there. Because it's not a partnership right there. So how can we get her to be a partner in this? And then she'll sit there and try to graze and just kind of blow you off. And then if you want to come, I'm going to try to walk away, or I'm going to move so it's harder for you to do it. So it's the mindset we're trying to change. So that she starts coming to us, so that it becomes a partnership. And because we don't want to, if we just halter without permission, we're starting with tension. And then it's just going to, there's going to be problems that are going to keep persisting. And now look at her, she's like, what do I do with you guys? So we're going to go around her again. Hi. And just be soft. Good girl. And so we're saying what she's going to do. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. So then walk up to her shoulder. Hi. And pet her. Yeah. See, now we got a softer mindset. So it really is true that everything makes a difference. Everything that we do. Because now she's got a softer mind. She'll be more willing to cooperate. She won't be adding more resistance. So go to her shoulder and pet her. And then just start to halter her and we'll see what she says. Good girl. Good. So I don't want her to feel wrong for anything that she thinks. We're just acknowledging everything that she is doing, and then we're responding appropriately. Good. Good. And then after you put it on, just kind of hang out for a moment so that she's not associating that you're putting that on because something's going to happen. So I take little breaks in between things I do so that there's they can separate it in their mind, and it's not like, oh, here comes the halter. That means now I'm going to have to do this or that, and there's all this work involved. So then I just, pet them on the shoulder for a moment, and I just kind of hang out. So that she goes, oh, well, I get haltered and nothing bad happens. And then she'll soften. See how she's softening her mind to you now? Because you heard her. You acknowledged her. And then she gets a chance to just hang out here with you and just feel good for a moment. And then we start slowly asking her to do things. But if we don't have the mind right, we're not going to get the body right. And, and it's just, we don't realize that all those little things, like when she was over there pretending to eat, bad weeds, that she's actually communicating something. It's a lot of times we miss those subtleties. And see how she's blinking a lot, and she's softer and just a little bit more relaxed. And then now she's going to be more willing to cooperate, as long as we keep handling things without force, without being mean or mad or, Good. So just walk around just for a minute, and then we'll start doing stuff with her. But so she gets to associate. Now she's licking her lips. Yeah. Because we want them to feel good when they're with us. So if we started off this way, then the mind's going to be right. And the emotions are going to be better. And then when you come back over here, you can pick up your stick and then just kind of show me a little bit about what you've been doing. Good. So right now her head's just there. She started to blink. When you started doing that, she wasn't blinking yet. So her head was just a little bit high and she wasn't blinking. So she was just a little bit concerned. Now she's blinking. See that nice soft sigh right there? So it's just noticing these things so that we can help them relax. Because there was that question mark in her mind of, uh-oh. So now she's getting softer. So what I would like to see first is you to just stay on one side or the other and just swing the rope over her. The stick and string over her, just because I want to see what she thinks about it. Make sure that it's not a concern. And even though she's not moving around, she's not blinking. So keep doing that until she begins to blink. And just, with rhythm like you're doing, that's really good. So we're looking for signs. We're either blinking, lowering the head, licking her lips, a soft sigh, anything like that we're looking for. So since you started doing that, she hasn't blinked yet. And these are the subtle things that we often miss because she's not running around. She's not looking frantic. Her tail's not up. Her head's not high. She's not snorty. So we don't know. There's some blinking. Then you quit for a moment. Yeah. See, now she's getting that sleepy look. So she's processing that. So if we notice these little subtleties, It was just because a lot of times they're introverted about their emotions. And that's how you can see it, like when she wasn't blinking, she was just like going, uh-oh. And if you would have tried to do something with her then and set her off, you'd be sending her off with a brace. So she just needed a moment to realize that, because the stick and the string isn't a weapon. It helps us. It's a tool to help us. It's like an extension of my arm. It helps me reach areas I can't reach on my horse. And I want them to feel that that's what it is. That it's not something that's going to hurt them. It's not something that's going to traumatize them. It's not a weapon. So in her mind, because she did, there we go, good girl. Now she's shaking her head and blinking. That's what we wanted. So then I want try that on the same side again when she's done. When she's done licking. Good girl. She wants to smell. That's fine. So we're checking the mindset along the way so that we can start doing things with her, hopefully without too much brace. So this time she's blinking more. So that's good. So I would just stop on that side again and just see what she has to see if there. See how much she appreciates that? She's like going, you acknowledged my concern. And then that's going to also create more draw, more bond, everything that you want because you're listening to her. Okay? Good. And then I would go ahead and try the other side too, because remember we got two horses. We got a left side of a horse and a right side of a horse. And they don't transfer stuff over real well from one side of the brain to the other. And now she's more relaxed. I mean, well, there's some blinking there, which is good. So because when you first started, there was no blinking at all on the other side. Now she's blinking. So go ahead and stop, and then just see if she needs to think about that for a minute. See how now she's looking at you? She's feeling more safe. And that creates more of a willing partner. So then just walk around with her for a moment, and then you can ask something from her. So I try to separate each thing that I do with a little bit of relaxation time. And that helps them to bring their emotions back to neutral. And it also helps them to feel like it's not all about being pushed around or drilled or, you know. And also when you're doing this, because she's following you, that helps create more draw. Good. She's nice and soft and relaxed, so that's good. So what is it you would like to show me first? Okay. Okay, good. Good. I like your releases of pressure. That's very nice. Good. Good. So see if you can move the front end until you get a half a circle, but give it like the release like you're doing each step, but try to do it to where you get like a half a circle. So ask, release, ask, release. So because she's doing good at that, it's time to advance it a little further instead of just asking for a step or two. Good. Release, ask. Good. Good. So just, it can be like a moment of hesitation, because if it's too long, she gets stalled out. So you ask, release, ask, release. So it's like with like a little bit of rhythm there. Does that make sense? Ask again. Ask again. Ask it. Because once they understand it, when we're first learning, when we're first teaching it, we're either teaching or we're refining. Okay? So once she knows that we're past the teaching stage, and then we're going to reinforce or refine it. So by having her do a little bit more, because she understands it now. So once they understand something, then we're going to look for a little bit more or a little bit more lightness. But that's really good. So I'll show you a little bit of something that'll help you right there. Because sometimes she has you move too much. So what I like to do is hi Helga, is I want to stay right here where I want her feet to go there. So that's where my belly button's going to be. I'm not going to walk way over there. I'm going to stay on this side of her. Good. Ask, release. Ask. See how I stay right there? Good. 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 So, because she was hesitating on you, so you were kind of coming over here and then having to push more. But I'm going to stay right here. And I can put this up here if I feel like she's going forward, or I can hold on to this. Good. Ask. Now I'm going to tap if I need to. So we're not teaching, now we're reinforcing or refining. So there I had to reinforce. And it was just a light tap. It's very light, because she doesn't need a lot of pressure. Yeah. I'm going to ask, release. Ask, release. Ask, ask. And I'm only going to touch if I have to, because she's so sensitive. But if she's not moving, I'm not going to wait till my feet are over there. Then I'll do a very light touch. It's not even a tap, it's just a touch, because she doesn't need a whole lot. But that's how you can start reinforcing and refining it. Yeah. Yes. Good. Yes. Well, I mean, she can use them to reposition. Like, she'll have to move one to be able to do that. But because you're staying right there, it makes it hard for her to go forward, which keeps her where you want her. Because this is the drive line is at the break of the withers and the neck right here, okay? So if you're in front of that, it helps push them either back or sideways. But if you're over here, it pushes them forward. Good. But see how you can start asking for a little bit more? Because if we just keep asking for the 1 or 2 steps and we quit, they start getting dull because it's the same thing. So every time we work with them, we're saying, where are you at right now? What can you do right now? And then you're going to ask for just a little bit more. And that way, and then they get rewarded because we give a release of pressure, we give them a break, so they know that whatever they just did was right, and then they always feel like a winner because they gave a little bit more, they got rewarded, and so I always want them feeling like a winner and feeling successful. But at the same time, we don't want them to get bored, like it's just the same old game. So we always are up in the ante just a little bit. So since she's nibbling, which is kind of avoidance, just go ahead and now let me see how the hind end is doing. So you can get, you're good at getting a couple steps, so let's ask for a few more steps. Up at the back. So she did really good there in the front, but you saw how to start asking for more. Yeah. So, and then a way of making it kind of more fun for them too is right after you do that, then ask for the opposite shoulder to come over. You want me to show you?
Yeah.
Hi. Let me bring her out here. Good girl. Good. So I'm going to ask for the hind end, a few steps. Then I'm going to change my tools and ask for the opposite shoulder to come over. And that's how we can start advancing it. So that makes it more interesting for her too. Yeah. And then she got a break. She did it successfully. She got a break. I got her attention because it's a little more engaging and fun. And so, you know, it's like her mind is open now. She's like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of interesting. And she got to learn and she got to feel like a winner. Change my tools. Get the shoulder over here. Good. Yeah. And then give her a break. She goes, well, that was different. And then we can start, you know, adding the circle into it too. After that, you know, we can just do different things with it, but it's because she knows how to move her front end, she knows how to move her hind end. So let's put it to purpose. Let's do something with it. Let's have a little bit more fun with it. Right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And how was that? Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. At the beginning, because we want to create draw, it's if they ask to come in, I'll let them. But after a while, they'll start to use it against you. Like, I know if I come to you, I don't have to work anymore. So it's finding that fine line because we want to create draw, but we don't want them to take over. So. And then, so I would allow that sometimes, and sometimes I would get soft. I'd be like, thank you, but please keep going. So it's just so I always acknowledge it. And sometimes I'll let them come in, and sometimes I won't. But see how I kind of sink back? I'm like, thank you, but please keep going. Or drop down just a little bit. Because it's acknowledging that they're thinking about you, they're thinking about coming. And then other times I say, yeah, great, come on. Oh, she goes, okay. So I'm going to go grab a couple cones so we can do that too. Well, first I'll see what you're doing, and then I can help you with the figure eight by bringing some cones in. Okay, let me experiment for a moment. Because It's hard to always say what to do. I just have to play for a second and see. Because, okay, if she's facing me, this is where having control of the shoulder is really good. So if she's facing me, I'm going to put pressure by the shoulder, ask her to move the shoulder out. When she's out there, then I'll put pressure behind her. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Yeah, good girl. Because we already know if we use the stick too much, she kind of freezes up. She just goes, I hate that. That's where I do a little bit more of that shuffle. Good girl. Stay right there. Good. So she had a hard time with that, so I'm going to try again. So if she's facing me, I'm going to point in that direction, and then I'm going to put pressure towards that shoulder. See how that sent her out? Thanks for asking, but please keep going. So I'm going to put pressure on the shoulder because she's facing me. If I want a little bit more energy, I'm going to point again. I'm going to breathe. Yeah, yeah. Just do so. I got to do something to get her attention there because if I smack this, she's just going to get more bracy. And she also knows. Good, good girl. That time I was able to just lift it up. So I want to do something besides swing it, because you were swinging it back here, and she knows that you're not going to do anything. Let's go. Yeah, good, good. See all that tension in the line? That's where we can't do anything at Liberty until that's gone. So right now I'm going to wait. See how I didn't even have to turn around? I just put energy back there. I just kind of swung that out. I'm going to slowly lift it. See, once I shuffled my feet and got some tension in me and did that, now I see how soft can I be after that. I don't keep doing that because then that'll get dull too with her. So I'm going to say, what can I do? Can I go back to lightness? Okay? Because I had to, bring up my energy and say, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep her circling here until she makes a new decision. Because she's really trying to get away from me here. So I'm going to wait till she offers some slack in the line. And right now I don't even care if she goes down to a walk. I care about slack in the line. But I want her to be able to move and have slack in the line. So I want to figure out how can I get it to be her idea to put slack in the line, because if I make it happen, she's not learning anything. So how can I get the slack in the line? I'm just going to wait until good. I went good, and then I kind of asked her to go back out, but I asked softly. So I'm looking for her to decide to put slack in that line. It's a little softer, but she's starting to add a little bit more slack. And I don't care if it's at a walk right now, because I got to get it at the walk before I can get it at the trot. I'm just going to ask her to keep going, and I'm going to see if she can leave slack. See how she's leaving more slack in the line now? It's not a lot, but it's better. Okay? But we're looking for little bits of improvement at a time. So when I feel like there's over here it got a little tighter again, so that's not a point where I would ask her to release. It would have to be wherever there's some softness. So she likes to try to stop behind you, so I wait for, I know it's going to happen, more than likely, so I'm ready for it, and I just make some commotion back there. Good. There she's got her looking at me, she put some slack in, I just let her stop. Because what I got to do is I got to find, where can I reward? I'm always looking for where can I reward. So I'm looking for lightness or softness, slack in the rope, something for her to that she's trying to connect or trying to be softer or not thinking so much about being away from me. So here, you try the other side. So because she's facing, you're going to ask the shoulder out first. And then once the shoulder's gone, then you can put some pressure behind her. Good. And don't be afraid to do a light touch if you need to. Or a little bit more. Keep asking there. Good, good. Slack, just, take the slack out and ask again. Ask again. There we go. Good. Because her job is to maintain gait and maintain direction. Ask again. Ask again. If you need to turn around, you can. But, like, you'll ask first, and if not, then you can turn around. Just make sure you're going towards her butt and not her head. So, because she likes to try to look away from you, what I do is every time when she comes around and you can see her head, if she's looking away from you, I just do a little tiny shuffle towards her butt to get her attention. Shuffle with your feet. Do it, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you got her attention. Now say, and please keep going. Okay, shuffle towards her butt. Anytime she looks away, yeah. So kind of follow her right now, just so, because we're playing that game. Shuffle towards her butt. She's looking away. Yeah. Keep doing it until she looks at you. Yeah. So we're saying you can't ignore me. She's looking out, shuffle towards her butt. Yep. And say, thank you, but please keep going. Yeah. So we're making it more interesting for her. We're not letting her check out on us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good, good, good. Now it's up to her to find some relaxation again. But every time she looks away, you're going to do something about it. Until she thinks back. And, yeah, good. So it's okay to follow her like that if we're doing something. Yeah, good, good, good. Do it again, though. She's looking out. Yep. She's looking out. Okay, try just walking towards her hind end a little bit. Yeah, and then ask her to go. Good. Good. So she's looking out. So what I want you to do is just walk, not hard, but I'll show you. Yeah, good. So I'm just going to walk towards her butt until she looks in. And then when she does, I'll get quiet. So walk towards, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Good. I was pressure right there because I was in between. So walk towards her butt a little bit when she looks away, and when she looks towards you, then relax, get soft, and smile. We got her attention now, don't we? So this is going to, you need all your attention on this. So every time she looks away, you walk towards her butt a little bit. And smile when she looks at you. Because we're trying to get to her mind. And if she walks, that's okay right now. She's looking out, kind of walk towards her a little. There we go. And softly ask her to go. Softly ask her to keep going. Good. And if she looks at you and has slack in the line, I would go ahead and allow her in, but not if there's tension on the rope. Walk towards her hind end because she was looking away. Yep, yep. There. And soften. Yeah. Good. And let her come in. Back up, back up. Yeah. Draw her in. Yes. And take the slack out of the rope as you're going. Yeah. See her licking her lips now? That was engaging. So we're not letting her check out mentally. So every time she does this, you're going to walk towards her butt, and then if she looks at you, then you're going to soften and say, yes, please keep going. And she looks away, you walk towards her butt, and then pretty soon she's like, oh man, I don't know why, but I just can't ignore her anymore. But it's a game. We're playing a game there. And we're walking towards her hind end until she can find the answer. And the answer is to look towards you. Don't look out there. There's nothing good out there. Look at me. And then when there's moments of softness where she's got the slack in the line, she's looking at you, right now I would let her come in. Not every time, but sometimes, because we're trying to create draw right now. We're trying to create that. Look at all that yawning. She goes, wow, that was really something. But that's an engaging way to do it that's not intimidating. There's not a lot of force or anything there. But there's a lot of yawning there. I also did that with a mule that was really sour, just like hated going in circles. It's just, the new owner, he had been, a pack horse for a long time and been just told, just run around till you're tired, then we'll saddle you up and we'll go. And he was just really sour. And so every time you asked him to go, he just bent his ears back and he'd get really mad. And so I do that same thing, and I just kind of walk towards his butt a little bit, and then all of a sudden he'd just look at me like, and I'd have him keep going, and pretty soon he was so engaged with me, and the pinning the ears went away. In 2 sessions, it was gone. Yeah. As long as I keep doing it right. But if I go out there and I just say, you go again, he's going to go, oh, But it got to his mind, and he was just like so fascinated. Then I'd ask him to go, and he got really light and just kept watching me and going, you're different. So that's what we're trying to do here, is just create a new pattern. Because, see, that's why you can't get Liberty right now, because there's just too much tension, and she's thinking away from you too much. So we gotta just, how can we break that pattern and create a new one? So sometimes we have to get creative. And this is a fun way to get creative. And then every time she starts looking at you, you just kind of smile and say, thank you, and please keep going. So we'll do that one again when she's done dwelling here. I thought I brought my drink down there. There it is. So whenever you're ready, just ask her to go, and remember, you got to push the shoulder out. Yes, the shoulder. So she's looking out, so walk towards her hind end. And when she looks at you, stop and smile. She's looking out. And if it doesn't work, you add a little shuffle in it. Good. She's looking out, so walk toward. Yep. She's looking out, walk towards her. Not your stick, your feet. Your feet are, yeah. And if she goes faster, that's okay. What we want is her to start looking in. So she's looking out, walk towards her hind end. Walk towards her hind end a little bit. Yeah. She's just confused right there. Yeah, soft. Just stay soft for a second. She got soft in the mind for a minute. As soon as you see her looking out, just walk towards her hind end. Yeah, and yeah. And then when she looks at you, just say thank you. Yeah, good, good. She's looking out, walk towards her hind end. As soon as she looks at you, and then just say, please go. Look, she's looking out, walk towards her hind end. Yep. Just keep doing it until she looks at you. There. Softer. Yeah, she's looking softer now. Good. See how she thought towards you there? And she's licking her lips. And so just make sure that when she does look towards you that you smile. Okay? Because if you still have tension in you and she looks at you, she goes, oh, I better not look over there anymore. Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, yes. They've even done studies where horses looking at pictures. They'll be the same person, but this person will be smiling in one picture and unhappy in the other picture, and the horse won't even look at the unhappy one. They read facial expressions very well and emotions. So it's very important that when she looks at you, thanks, smile, be happy. Otherwise, she's going to go, that ain't a good deal. It's just like if I looked at you and then you went, I'd be like, okay, never mind. Well, they're doing the same thing. So all this stuff takes work, but all we're doing is becoming aware of it today so that we can, you can start working on it little by little. So go ahead and have her go again. Good. Push the shoulder. Push. Yep. Good. So she's looking out. Walk towards her. Yep. Oh, yep. And smile. So we don't want her thinking, though, that it's a disengagement. Good. So try not to walk as fast because it's a balance. Every horse is different. We're trying to figure out. So walk towards her hind end just a little. Yeah, she looks at you and then smile and say, but please keep going. Because she's just confused. She's trying to do the right thing. She's looking out, so walk towards her hind end. Be ready to correct her to keep going, though, yeah. And make sure you smile when she looks at you. Good. And softly ask her to keep going. Because if we ask softly, then they don't feel like they're in trouble. And we don't want her to feel like she's in trouble. We just want to remind her, because she's trying to figure out what you want. She's looking out, so walk towards her hind end. Yep. Good. And softly ask her to keep going. She's looking out. She's looking out. Good. That was a really nice place to reward because could you see how she was thinking more towards you right there? So right now we want to reward any positive change. And she kind of came around and she kind of looked at you and got really soft, and then you asked her in. She's going to feel good about that. That's going to create draw. So we got to do things that make them feel like they want to come to us. But see that last time, see how much more slack she left in the line? Yes, yeah. But we made a game out of it. So she wasn't getting in trouble, but we just made it hard for her to think away from you. And then look at her ears now. Look at the attention that you got now. And she's looking, she's softer, she's engaged, she's having more fun, and she doesn't feel like she wants to get away. Pretty cool, huh? And then, so I would get that really good at the walk before I asked for it at the trot. Because everything that we work on, we got to get it at a slower speed and then gradually build speed and ask. Because if we try to get it at a trot right now, it's just too much. She's got to get the idea. Because also at a trot, it's going to be harder to make those corrections because she's going faster. So if she starts looking at you, wants to come in, and then you correct her, she might go, oh, that was the wrong answer. Because especially if you haven't smiled yet, she's going to go, oh, that was wrong. And then she's going to get more confused. So get it really good at the walk. And also being able to say thank you, but please keep going, and get it to where you can handle that better, so that you're ready to help correct at a faster speed. So that's a good thing for you to work on at home. So let's walk her over here, because we want to start using the saddle area as a place of rest, and see if she's curious, wants to smell it. And if she doesn't, that's okay, but it's just about, she has options over there. And while she does that, I'm going to go grab a couple cones. So that was kind of fun playing that way, huh? It's just, you have to really, really be present to keep up with it. Which, in order to keep their mind engaged, we got to be very present like that. Because if we only catch it half the time, they're gonna wonder, okay, what's the answer here? Because sometimes it's okay when I do that and sometimes it's not. So then it's more confusing. So what are some other things that you've been doing? Or other things you wanted to work on, or you had questions? Okay. Yeah, close. Okay. Do you want to show me or do you want me to try? I think we can do it either way. Okay. Hi. Oh, well, no, because if it doesn't happen well online, it's not going to happen at Liberty. Okay? Yeah. Because I have to have slack in the line all the time, and she has to do what I ask all the time before I take her offline and try it. Otherwise, I'm not setting it up to succeed. And if they're wrong too many times, they create a pattern. And all it takes is 2 or 3 times for them to go, I know that how to get out of this. Huh, yes. You've come so far. I'm going to ask the shoulder out. Now I can put pressure behind. Yeah. Good. Shorten the rope. So see how we have to fix it online? There's no way I'm going to get it to happen at Liberty if I can't get it to happen online with slack in the rope. Good. And I can hear her moving behind me so I can be ready to correct sooner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing it out here, change hands, just see how I just shorten the rope. Yeah, good. So I'm going to swing it out towards her hind end, change hands, there. And then I have to make sure when that happens right that I get very soft in my body. Because if I get soft, it'll create relaxation in her, and she'll know that that was right. And she'll feel better about it. I'm going to swing this behind. So what I like to do, if she's going to the right, I wait till she passes my right shoulder. I back up. And it makes more sense. Because if I try to do it over here, I'm not really in the right place. So now she passed my shoulder. I'm going to swing behind, change my tools. Good. Yeah. But see how she doesn't completely understand it online? So we have to get that really good and really light. See how that was better? But I would want to do this and have that consistency at the walk and the trot for at least 5 to 7 sessions where there's no slack in the rope before I go offline. And what I would do is the day that I would go offline, or I would be thinking about it would depend on how things went that day, I would practice it online that day first. Make sure it's clear in her mind. Switch tools. So see, I kind of have it between the shoulder and the eye if I need to kind of push that area out. So I'm going to practice online, and if it's really good online, I'll go to Liberty for a few minutes. Not long. Good. You're okay. You're okay. Because you want to set it up as to be successful, and you don't want her to end up making the wrong decision. So, come on, let's keep going. Yeah. And you want her to feel like very successful about what just happened. So, I'll try it if it's perfect online, where I get like that, and there's always slack in the line. Then I would try it just for a few tries offline, and then reward, reward, reward. because it has to be a really good pattern on line first. So I'm going to get it good at the walk first and then at the trot, because every time you add speed, it makes it harder. She passes my shoulder. I'm going to swing out there, back up, push the shoulder that way. When she passes my right shoulder, I'm going to swing this out here, back up, push the shoulder that way. See, she's starting to get it. That time it was a little harder going. She has a harder time going from the right to the left, right there, and that's okay. And then when she's successful, I'm going to just ask her to keep going. But see how I'm even though I'm talking to you, I'm very present. I know exactly what's going on every moment, so I'm ready to correct really quick. But I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, please keep going. And I try to say positive words like that, even if it's, to myself and not out loud, because when you say things in a positive way, it creates softer muscles, softer emotions, and she feels all of that. She passed my left shoulder. I'm going to swing this out here, back up, push the shoulder, leave her alone. She's licking her lips. But see, it's not real, and we don't, I'm sorry. It's okay, I'm just going to hold it till she goes. I made her nervous. Well, it's very confusing for the horses that way, because you're asking them to stop, but you're telling them not to stop. So instead, I just create a little bit of pressure back there. Keep going, please. By just swinging the rope back there, drawing them to me. So when she passes, I'm going to swing it out there. I'm going to back up. See how there's not slack in the line? Not going to go to Liberty. But she's licking her lips. She's starting to get... But I got to do this long enough in a session that she gets the idea. If I quit too soon and she's not quite sure what the answer is, she hasn't learned anything. Or at least anything positive. She passes my right shoulder, turn and face, swing my stick. There. Yes, but even that one got better. And then I leave her alone. I make sure I drop my shoulders, my body's relaxed, I got a leg cocked, because she feels all that. I want her to feel like that was the answer. And the only way she's going to know that is if I leave her alone for a minute so she can, because it's that release of pressure that teaches. So I'm taking all the pressure off and letting her be. Now she passed my left shoulder, swing this out here, back up. Ah, see, it's getting better already, right? I'm going to do one more, then I'm going to have you do it. She passes my right shoulder, turn and face, swing my stick back, ask her to go. Ah, see how much better it's getting already?
So when you go backwards, then you don't go back here, but push front end over?
Okay, I'll do it one more time. Come in here. I'm going to put pressure by her shoulder, and I might take a step or two to help push it, and then I'm going to be still. But as soon as she starts turning and going that way, I'm stopping. Because I'm rewarding her because she's doing the right thing. I'll do one more. And sometimes I might have her do a half a lap, sometimes one lap, sometimes 2 laps. I'll mix it up. So she passes my right shoulder, turn and face, swing my stick. I got to change hands, change tools, ask her to go out that way. So there's a lot she has to learn here before you go to Liberty. First, she has to learn how to change direction like that. But see, when you go to Liberty, you would be doing it exactly the same way. You would swing it out here. You could also look at it, her hind end, swing it out, and then push her. But see, she's still not ready for Liberty. And then when I'm offline, I do the exact same motion and movements, so it's very clear to her. She understands. Turn and face, swing this out here, change my tools. Yeah, leave her alone. So now I'm going to reward her. Now I'll disengage. But see, if you just disengage, it's hard for them to keep going. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to them. And I want to keep the motion going. That's why I back up, I draw them to me a little bit, and then I change direction. That was very good. So I would do this 5 to 7 times until, or more if you need to, until at the walk. Until she absolutely knows for sure that that's the answer. In her mind, she's repeated enough times, it's a pattern. And also, you've repeated enough times that you're starting to get the motor skills to do it. And then after you feel like she's really got it good at the walk, then you can do it at the trot. Because every time at the trot, there's going to be complications again. So you're going to have to be even quicker with your tools and backing up and everything, right? Because she's going faster. So you're going to have to, and you don't want to do it when she's pulling on the line. So if she's pulling on the line, then you're going to go back to just the circle game where you're walking towards her hind end until you get her attention. So you have to figure what's best for the horse right now. Trying to practice that when she's pulling on it and she's looking out isn't going to work. So get that circle game good first where she's paying attention to you and you don't have to keep going after her hind end. Get that good first before this gets good. Because you're not going to, if she's pulling on that, you don't have any draw. Okay, so you try. Just ask her to keep going. Yep, ask her on. There we go. Good. Yes, and relax and smile. Just, yeah. Because she needs to feel that you're pleased when she does the right thing. She needs to feel it, and the only way she's going to feel it is if you feel pleased. So you might want to come this way a little more because the cones keep getting in her way. And I'll just get out of the way here. See how she's starting to understand it better already? Pull, keep trying, put the stick out, yep. Yeah. Because if they're making the wrong choice, we want to keep asking. We don't want to release the pressure in there while we're asking if she's doing the wrong thing. So you want to just keep some, pulling in the rope, or, okay, you need to come that way a little bit more because the cone's getting in her way again. Yeah. Just keep asking, pull the rope, get the rope tighter. Yep. Good. That was very good. So we have to remember that horses are pattern animals, and they're always looking for the pattern. So we're creating a pattern right here. Yes, and relax and smile. So in her mind, she's thinking, what's the pattern? What's the pattern? So we got to do it consistent enough until she's got it in her mind, okay, I understand this pattern now. She's looking out, walk towards her hind end a little bit. Yep. Yep, just ask her to keep, yep. Yep, yep. That's good. So you don't give up on her. You just keep asking until you get it. Good. See, and that's how you'll mix up the games too. Because if a problem comes up, you just take care of the problem. So I really like that. Even though you were circling here, you saw that and you started taking care of it. That's perfect. She's looking out. Yep. Yep. Yes. That's okay, because, yeah, I mean, if she thought that that's what you wanted, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't make them wrong for trying. So that was good. I like that you decided to let her do that because she's not trying to do bad. She was trying to figure out what, because you moved a little bit and she thought you rang. So, yeah, that's where we give them the benefit of the doubt. Good. Good. Look, yep, good, good. She's looking out. Okay, she's looking out. Yeah. She's looking out. Yep. She's looking out. Good girl. She's licking her lips. She goes, God, I can't get away with nothing. Good. And relax. Perfect. And she's kind of, oh, nope, she's looking out. I was going to have you stop, but then she decided to look out. She's looking out. She's looking, yeah, good, good. She's looking out. Good. So she's soft, there's slack in the rope. Just let her come to you for a moment, and we're going to take a break and talk. Keep looking at that hind end until she disengages it. There. Good. 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 So this kind of shows you how much you need to be in the moment. Because there's you got to be on it. You can't be thinking about anything else. You just got to be so present in order to get it this good, because she's always going, okay, I'm leaving you, I'm leaving you. Oh, I guess I can't leave you. Or trying to get the change of direction, but she's starting to see the pattern, but you're going to need to keep repeating it for 5 to 7 times. Because you can see if she's at a trot, everything has to happen faster. So you got to get handy, and then if she's looking up, then you got to take care of that, and or she's trying to stop, or she's trying to come to you, then you got to redirect. So it's like you have to really be on your game. But look at she gives it 2 ears. She's like really engaged with you. Well, now she's looking at me too, but she's But it's not boring
No.
because you're not being boring.
Yeah.
And you're not letting her get away with anything. But this is also how you make it to be not like the same old game. You know, here, just go in a circle until you further notice. She's going to go, boring. That's why I'd rather leave, so I'm going to look out here. But this wasn't boring. It was very engaging. Oh my gosh, lots of yawning there. So bring her back over to the saddle. We keep forgetting to go over there to rest. So in order to get a good figure eight too, you got to get those changes of direction good. You can see how it all ties together, right? And then we got to work on having the slack in the line. There at the end, she had a lot of slack in the line. Yeah, because we were doing things appropriately. Hi. See how even though I've been here, I still come up respectfully. Always, you know, because it's always a two-way conversation. So I try not to take it for granted. Good. Yeah, good. Well, let's see how she feels about this first. So we'll bring her out. Let's just bring her out here so there's a little bit of room. Because she's allowed to have opinions and stuff. So before I just put it on her, I'm going to see if she wants to smell it. Good. And then I'm going to pet her on the neck and the withers. And then I'm just going to say, can I touch you with it? See? So because she's worried, I'm going to put my hand right here on the withers. And just kind of a gentle little squeeze. It just helps them to feel a little better. So she hasn't been saddled with permission before. Now she's looking. So see that tension there? I'm not going to put it on her until I can pet her with it and she's okay with it. So she's not blinking right now. See that? Good. She kind of looked over at me. Give her a chance to smell it again. Good. See, look in her lips. Did you see that video I made a couple weeks ago of Troubadour jump at Liberty in the arena, jumped the barrel, came to me, and I had the saddle and the bridle on the barrel, on another barrel. So I called him, he jumped the barrel, came to me, stopped, and then I saddled him and bridled him at Liberty. That's the goal, is to be able to just, for them to be that accepting, right? So this is where we start. Tovenar? Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. I've just had several sessions, so I'm not sure which session you're talking about. Oh yeah, that mini is hilarious. See how he's not blink? She's not blinking. There we go. She looked this way. I let her smell it again. So she doesn't know it's not something that's going to eat her. And she's been tied up, forced to wear it. You know, We got to break those patterns.
Yeah, I know she's been left-tied, and that's why she's tensing now.
Yeah, yeah.
So glad I'm not with her.
Yes. Good. 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 And then we'll do it with the saddle afterwards too, but a little easier to start with this. It's lighter. And so what I'd do if I were you, just go ahead and drop that, is I'll just put that over my arm. So if she goes to leave, I got it right there. Okay? And then I'm going to come up on this side. I'm going to touch her at the break of the withers here. She flinched a little bit. But see, I'm doing it really soft. It's like a brush. I'm just kind of lightly brushing her with it. She's blinking, so I'll stop for a minute. See what she thinks. Because we don't want to do things to them. We want to do things for them to help them build their confidence and feel they're safe with you no matter what. Good. See, she's getting a softer mind now because I'm doing it right. Good. Good. And anytime she goes to leave, I got the rope right here. I don't want it wrapped around my hand because then you can get hurt. Good. So I'm watching her eyes. She's blinking. She's turning towards me. So I'm going to back off and let her smell it again. And yes, I know she has been saddled before, but she wasn't she never gave permission. And this is showing you that she's never given permission. I know. You're such a good girl. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like it's a saddle. I'm going to bring it over here for her to smell, and I'm going to lay it on her back. I'm going to bring it back over here for her to smell. And if I need to, I could put my hand back on her withers if she gets a little bit worried. So I'm going to do that until she's not blinking again. So I'm going to do it until her head comes down or she starts blinking or sighs or licks her lips or sneezes, something to show me that she's starting to relax. See, or right now, her ears went forward. When her ears go forward, she goes, oh, that's something over there is more interesting than what you're doing. So that shows her fear level coming down. Okay? Because if she was more worried about this, she would go, I don't care what's going on over there. This is more scary. Good. And see how her mind is soft? Her head's coming down. She's smelling. She doesn't feel threatened. Good. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So I will switch my tools. Put this in that hand. I want to make sure there's enough slack in the rope so when I turn around, I'm not pulling on her. See how there's enough that, not too much where she steps on it. So she flinched right there when I did that. Her head's up, she's not blinking. So I also when I'm doing this, I want to do it with rhythm. Because then she knows when it's coming, it feels consistent, and she can make more sense of it. And if we handle things like this, then yeah, we can do all this stuff at Liberty once it gets good. Good. And then I might just move it around a little bit like that and take it off, but I'm still doing it with rhythm. And I'm trying to watch her eyes at the same time. A lot going on. Once again, got to be very present. But see how she's still not blinking? And if I miss one, just let me know because I'm moving around. Good. Good. And then I'll bring it off and see if she wants to smell it again. See how it's softening her mind? Because nothing's being forced on her. Good. Because it's a partnership. I care what she thinks about it. And if I do this right every time like this, every time it's going to take less and less time. And pretty soon there's going to be no worry or no concern. But if I do it wrong, it's always going to take longer. There's always going to be that brace, and she's not going to be a willing partner. Good. Good. So because it took her a long time to blink on the side, I'm going to repeat. I know. It's just the trailer door. It's okay. But see, even though something else happened, I just keep on doing what I'm doing. Because if I would have stopped and looked over and then went, uh-oh, she might worry about that, she would have went, you're worried too? Now I really got to be worried, right? I don't pay it any attention. She looked away. Good. So I'm always looking, what are the ears doing? What are the eyes doing? What's the nose doing? What's the mouth doing? Is there wrinkles in her nose? Or is one nostril larger than the other? Is there tension? If there's wrinkles in her nose, there's tension. There's no tension there right now. But these are all the things I look at. Are her ears on me, or are they on something else? Is she blinking or not blinking? Is she breathing heavy because her nostrils are flared? Those are all the things that tell you either there's a problem or a lack of a problem. Now she's licking her lips. And now she looks sleepy because she's processing this. So we want her to review those tapes in her head right now. Because, we have to give her time to think about it, put it in her memory bank so she can remember it. So as long as she looks sleepy like this, I'm just going to leave her alone. Because that's what she's doing. She's processing. Yeah. Yeah, someone just went up, threw it on her, cinched her up. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. But I got to be able to move with her, be okay too. So just show her that it was no big deal. It was just my hand. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. So someone went and took something. She probably never got a chance to smell it, never got a chance to accept it. They tied her up, they threw it on her, they cinched her up. That's like in the wild, like being killed. So that all that, yeah. See how she has no need right now to pull back because we're doing things right. We're asking permission. And we're saying, if you're not okay with it, I will help you find a way to be okay with it. And then there's no need to pull back. I'm not giving her a reason to pull back. And she's licking her lips again. She was pulling back because she was terrified. I'm going to come over on this side. Oh, I know, that made noise. So see, her head came up. She got worried about the noise of this. So I'm just going to let it make some noise for a minute. And say, see, it's not going to hurt you. She's not blinking, so I'm just going to let it make some noise for a minute. She looked away, so that's better. I'm going to ask for permission to come to her other side by putting my hand underneath her chin and coming over here. And I'm going to pet my way down. Okay, because when you pet your way down, it creates relaxation, as long as there's no tension in me. If I'm petting and I'm tense, she's going to get tense. But if I'm petting and I'm relaxed, she's going to get relaxed. You're okay. You're okay. So I'm going to pet my way down. I'm going to make sure my legs are parallel with hers, because that way, if she got scared and bumped into me, I could stay on my feet. Okay? But if I'm facing her and she bumped into me, I'm on my back. So I stay parallel. I pet. I come down. I touch her. I pick that up. And then I'm going to see if I put a little bit of pressure there, how she feels. See how she's not blinking? There, she blinked. I took it off. Okay? So now I'm tightening up. I'm only tightening a tiny bit. So I just have my one hand on the cinch and one hand on the strap here. And I'm just a little bit, like maybe a half a pound of pressure right now. She blinked. I take it off. So I'm letting her know she's not trapped. If she freezes, like, because her mind's and she's not blinking, if she freezes, she's got a problem with it. So I'm gonna hold that there. There, her head came down. I released. She's got no reason to pull back. So once she's okay with, a half a pound of pressure, I can add more. But I'm not going to cinch it up until she says I'm okay with it. Okay, right now, her ears went away, she was looking at something else, her head went, so I released. I just took all that pressure off. And then I don't just go put a half pound of pressure in, I slowly do it. And see, now she's getting curious about it. She comes over to smell it. She's blinking. I take it off. Good. And even when we're at the point where we are going to cinch her up, I would cinch it up lightly. And then maybe back her up a few steps, maybe move her front end a few steps, cinch it up a little more. And then do that same thing again, cinch it up a little more. So that way she doesn't feel like, she's just getting, someone's ripping on her belly. And that's how you prevent them from swelling up their belly too. Because you're never going in there and just, pulling it on. Yeah, she looked at me. I let go. I took the pressure off. I slowly put it back on. She's blinking. I'll take it off. She's not used to that making noise. That scares her, the cinch moving underneath her. So anytime she tells me there's a problem, I just work on the problem. So she's telling me a problem, so I'm swinging it. Back and forth. And now she's looking at it, so I stop. She's smelling it, I let her smell it. So she gets a chance to explore it and realize it's not something that's going to kill her. Good. 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 She got worried at coming off? Get it off, put it back on. Take it off, put it back on. So anytime she says, I have a concern, I address it. I don't ignore it. And that's how you get problems to go away. Say, you have a problem? Let me help you. Let me help you see that you're okay and you're safe. And this is not going to hurt you. So she relaxes. So if you do this every time, pretty soon, there is no issue. But because she's had bad experiences, you're going to have to repeat for a while. And if you do it right, it takes less time all the time. I know you did so good there. So let's try the saddle, because I know we want to see if it fits her. But I'm just going to walk her for a moment and let her feel successful, lick her lips, whatever she needs to do. Have the pressure off for a moment. But do you see, she was even on a loose line. She felt no need to have to take off. So what I'll do is I'll walk and have her follow it for a moment. Because if something's leaving them, it's less scary. Then they can start to become more curious. If she wants to smell it, she can. If she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to. Good. So even when you use the blanket underneath this, I would do the same thing with the blanket. Same thing that we did with that. Until she says it's not a problem. Good. So I'm going to kind of pet her here with my hand with it next to her, because it's kind of hard to... Here, let me move her this way so we can see. Good. I'm just going to come over here and pet. And she doesn't know really if it's my hand or that. But since we just did that, and I'm going to swing it a few times before I put it over her back. See how she's not blinking? I'm going to wait. If I put it on while she's not blinking, she could have a negative reaction because she's frozen in her. There she goes. See, her eyes got softer. So I'll just lay it on her. And I'll take it off. It didn't hurt her. I'll just pet her. Then I'll lay it on her. Then I'll take it off of her. I'll pet her. I'll put it on. I'll take it off. Put it on. Take it off. Wait for a change in her expression. There, she was blinking. Just trying to see how that feels on her. I want to make sure that she has even contact all over. And then I want to make sure that it's not too heavy in the withers. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's a tiny bit tight in the withers. Like if I had a shim, I might put a shim, just to lift the front end a little bit, just a little bit. But other than that, I mean, and it's not real bad. It's just a little bit tight. Because if they get blocked, because when you lift, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good fit. I do. Just a tiny bit tight right there, but we just want to make sure that when she lifts up her shoulder here, like when she lifts her leg, the shoulder right here is right here, and when she lifts her leg, it could come back that far. So if it's blocked, she won't extend her legs. And then if your seat is right there, I think it's not bad at all. It really isn't. Because if your seat's here, I just want to make sure that I think it's okay. But if you had some kind of shim you can put there just to lift it a tiny bit, but the blanket could help with that too. I think it's a pretty good fit. Because when you put the weight right there, because what I do is I take my chapstick out, and I see where's the center of gravity on that saddle. It's right there. Yeah. Because every saddle's different. So that's how I can see where the center of weight is right there. So when I'm putting pressure there, it doesn't feel like it's weighing down right there, which is what I was looking for, is to make sure that it didn't weigh down on the shoulder right there, or on the withers right there. So I think it fits pretty good. And so when you go to cinch up with this, just do the same thing. Just practice a lot until there's no reaction.